So it wraps up then. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Villa lose, a very predictable outcome against a really good Chelsea side. But that doesn't really tell the story today because ultimately Villa were a much better team than Chelsea. We did it in our preview. Everyone's been saying it from what I've heard that Chelsea were going to be the team that were going to wipe the floor with us today. And although the scoreline may look like they have, really performance-wise, Villa were much better. We really gave it a good go today. But ultimately, Villa did not take any of their chances, and we come out of here with another loss. We're now, I believe, a point, not even a point above the relegation, because I believe Southampton have drawn their game with West Ham, hopefully. But Villa are seriously in danger now of relegation. 10, we've played 11 games now, is it 10, 11 games now? 9 points. It's relegation form, and ultimately, Perzo's been there today, Longe has been there today, there's been no sign of the owners apparently, so it clearly shows the level of ambition at this club, the fact that we're trusting our highest priority with Perzo to keep his mates in the job. And ultimately that's what this is going to be. The opinion does not change today. Gerrard needs to be gone from the job. But ultimately, when you've got the likes of Perzo there, and a performance like this does not really help, because it ultimately tells people that, hey, from what we've heard, all the statistical numbers says we're going to get the results, and a performance like today shows we've given it a really good go. That's what's going to keep him in a job for a bit longer. But it shouldn't, because ultimately it's not good enough. Again, as I said, 5 minutes into the game against the Chelsea, in a must-win game against the Chelsea team that have been very good so far since the appointment of Graham Potter, you need to keep it solid. And what goes up in a must-win game are Mings' mistakes, like a poor header inside his own area, and ultimately they were able to score the goal from it. Mounts inside the box in 6 minutes, and Villa already won it down, and you can just. It's ridiculous. It's a must-win game. And the most typical Villa thing that can happen, we go and concede, and it's a Mings mistake. And then from that point, Villa do get back into it. We have plenty of good chances. Bailey was having a really good game, really getting stuck into it, and had that header that went off the bar. There was the point where we took like 3 or 4 pot shots at the goalie, Kepa, and it didn't go in. The Ings header, that Kepa again made a great save from it, didn't stop that from going in. And also, you were sat in the second half like, well, okay, we're 1-0 down, but we're showing great ambition. We're showing a bit more excitement in our play, something that we're asking for. Second half, it's a bit of the same. We're still trying again. We're still trying. Mings makes a stupid tackle in hindsight on the edge of the box. Mount makes a free kick, and Martinez, there is no hiding it, has been poor for months now. He's been poor. He's not shown it. It's like a lot of these players, they've been regressing season after season. Martinez has been getting worse and worse. He's on his line, he's in the right position. The free kick, the end result is directly in his position, a stable position. But what does he do? He decides to take a step to the right, so he ultimately plays himself off and he can't make that final dive to try and stop it. That's why you trust your wall. And ultimately, you trust them, you put your faith in them to do their job. And then ultimately for him, it's just to stay on his line. Again, hindsight, it's easy to say, what if only he had known where it's going to go. But it is what it is. And Villa ultimately then, substitutions-wise as well. Now, this is where Gerrard can be criticised, because I think substitution-wise, it's the same substitutes that we know he's going to make, and it's ultimately ones that don't impact the game. We take off Bailey for Wendia. Bailey was having a great game, really would have gave him a go, considering we needed pace to attack at them. But unfortunately, he comes off of Wendia, who doesn't really do anything in the game. Coutinho for McGinn. Coutinho does not have enough time in 20 minutes to make a change when we're already 2-0 down, and that everyone in the stadium knows the atmosphere is gone. And then we're finally bringing on Dendonga, who does a fat load of nothing anyway. Never really feels like he's on the pitch at all. And apparently Villa are only able to make 3 substitutions. And Villa ultimately lose the game. As I said, really, it doesn't reflect on Gerrard today. It doesn't really mean that Gerrard should be sacked. This isn't a Gerrard's fault to be such. This is player individual mistakes. Gerrard is not the one responsible for Mings making 2 poor decisions that lead to 2 goals. That's a player mistake. Gerrard's not the one responsible for not being able, for the likes of Ings, Watkins, Bailey, McGinn, all these players, the amount of chances we have, and the ball's not going in the back of the net. That's not Gerrard. He can't go on the pitch and do that. What is Gerrard's fault is trying to build, what is being coached on the training grounds. Why we're not making substitutions that impact the games. Why we're seeing the same options being brought on, and why we're not ultimately getting these points. As I said, it's 11 to 10 games now. We're 9 points. It just can't continue. The disconnect has never felt more reliant than ever. As I said, we've spent so many years building it back up with Dito, building it back to the Premier League, and it's all getting shattered for these false lies we're being told. Purslow, you can't go and build stadium upgrades, name changes, new badges, these top 6 ambitions. We're not pushing for ambition. Having a name like Steven Gerrard does not instantly qualify you for top 6. It qualifies us now for relegation contenders. That is where we're going now. Everyone knows it. It felt flat to watch after that second goal. I don't want to watch football. Not football anymore. I don't want to watch Villa really, because I'm going into these games knowing we're going to lose. I'm not having confidence anymore. I just don't want to watch it anymore. And the feeling is, with a lot of people, it doesn't feel like he's going to get the sack. If he does, then by miracle, hopefully the plan is in place. But ultimately, it doesn't really feel like anything's going to change. He's going to get the next game against Fulham. Then it's Brentford. Then it's Newcastle. And quite frankly, I don't really see where he's going to get the points from now. And that's the fact. We're playing against Fulham. You can't win against 20th place Nottingham Forest. We don't look like winning games. We don't look like scoring. Players look crap. Individual mistakes. As a whole collective, this club is in a serious mess right now. And it needs changing. It doesn't matter about the rest of the season now, because there is no chance of top 6. Regardless of, we're only 5 points out of it. It doesn't matter. Villa fans, we all just want to see something change at this club. We want to see the excitement again, and it's not going to be achievable with Steven Gerrard anymore, and it needs to be a change. So that's pretty much my instant reaction for Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Tell us in the comments down below what you think and on our Twitter page. But as I said, it's Fulham next. It doesn't really look like it's going to get better. No one knows what the state of the club's going to be in following the next game. Let's just hope that really somebody, hopefully even Purslow himself, shows and realises what he's seen today and sees the outside noise and finally makes the right decision, because this era of Aston Villa is over and we need a change. But yeah, up the Villa, guys. With the pride of Villa, we'll see you for the next game, boys.